Hey. Okay, now we're really almost getting there. Today's question 15, which there are 4 5s and 20. So we've done 5, 10, 15. We've done 3 of the 4 5s. Nope. Yep. 75%. Question 15. In 3, 2, 1. If we are all made in God's image, what does God look like? Shortest answer so far. You ready for this? I don't know. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not. I have no idea. Yeah, it's a good question. God looks like all of us and then none of us, right? So people have discussed and debated at some length what the idea of his image really means. There are those who argue that made in his image means to reflect God's desire for community, the Trinity, God's relational nature. There are other passages in the Bible that clearly refer to God as being a spirit, and so is neither sort of gendered or anthropomorphized in the way that we often do. But then it's a really good point. Like, the answer is I just don't know. When I think about being made in the image of God, I think mostly about the dignity that confers to all of humanity. And I think about how precious and wonderful each of you are because God made you. How lovely and delightful and valuable you are because God made you. I don't actually know how best to think about what I would see if I experienced God. If you judge from from stories in the Bible, it would be terrifying to experience God. But I mean, we have the burning bush. Is God the fire? I don't think so. You have the storms and the thunder and the lightning, and then you have the story about all those things happened and God was in the still small voice, right? There's a still small voice, this disembodied thing. I don't know. When Moses said, "Who shall I tell Pharaoh has sent me?" Who should I tell Pharaoh? Who has sent me? Who should I tell Pharaoh? How does that go? What's the grammar on that? Who should I say has sent me? God said, "Tell them I am that I am," or just "I am that I am." Super helpful. I suppose in a way, the thing I said at the beginning is the best way to think about it. God looks like you. Think about how, well, this might not matter if you don't take the idea of God seriously, so this might not be any help at all. But if, in fact, we did, especially those of us who take Jesus seriously, if we thought about the fact that everybody we see bears the imprint of God, what would that do to how we treat each other? What would that do to the racism that seems to be so prevalent in so many pockets of American Christianity? If we actually thought we could see God or Jesus in everybody else, what would that do, I wonder? What would that do to the way we think about poverty, immigration, foreign wars, lines at the mall? If we thought, oh, wait a minute, that's not just my neighbor, that's a person who bears the image of God. That's not an African American or an immigrant. That's a person who bears the very image of God in their being. How would that change the way we behaved? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? So yeah, I don't know. But what if God looks like you? What if God looks like me? Sorry. Or, you're welcome. Oh my gosh, what if God was one of us? Joan Osborne. She was more right than she knew. Just a stranger on the bus trying to make his way home, right? It's a really good question. Not quite an earworm, although it was a popular song. I think I'm not sure where it charted, like where it plateaued on the chart, but it was definitely a popular song. But it's a good question. Maybe it's a better question. No disrespect to the questions. Maybe that's a better way to think about it. Not what does God look like, but what if God looked like us? I love it. Thanks, Joan. Okay, bye.